Hey guys, the new box arrived today. It's a guitar that I ordered, and it was an open box because I don't want to pay full price for this thing, but I'm hoping that it's going to be alright. It's very loose in there, and I'm hoping that it's a full box within a box. There is a guitar box within that box, and this one is not taped. Whew. So maybe it was good enough after all. There's bubble wrap inside there. It's well protected with the bubble wrap. The neck protector is still in place. Wrenches are falling out. Bit of foam here, bit of foam there. Bubble in the back, so it should be okay. Out of the way. Out of the way. All right. Not too heavy. It's blue. Something I didn't have was blue. So this is a Telecaster style guitar. It was a return for some reason. I don't know, the fret ends feel pretty good. The action is not terribly high. And you know, I need to put on my close-up glasses to take a good look. So let me just take a look. Yeah, there's fingerprints that are not mine. Oh my, that switch is very flimsy. I know what that is. This is an EART. This is part of the latest craze on YouTube about EART guitars. Let's see, designed in St. Louis, Missouri, USA. Model NK-C1. So, here we go. Let me get closer. It's what they call tiger eye blue. Let me see if I can get some light there from my window. It's a little bit darker looking than the way they lit the picture on Amazon. I'm not seeing any cosmetic defects at this point. I'm really happy about the maple neck. I like maple on maple. Let's see, the tuners. Probably need a little tightening. Don't feel too bad. The entire neck seems to be done in exactly the same way. It's like a satin all around. It's very nice feeling. The size of it is very comfortable. It feels like a standard type Telecaster, and like my Stratocasters. The mint green pickguard is really not a nice choice for this, in my opinion. A pearl white would be much better. This has the 3 vintage barrels non-compensated, which of course I do not like. If anybody's seen my other videos, they know that I like 6-saddle intonations. And overall, it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the aesthetics of it right now. But yes, overall it's really quite nice. I think the plastic has been removed from the pickguard already. I am going to try to, maybe not, I am going to try to see if I can put a pearl on there. This is not a standard Telecaster style. But I'm going to see if I can put a pearl on there. I've ordered one. Other than that, I really like it. So the next step will be a few adjustments and see what it sounds like. Alright, we've got it on the bench. Make some initial checks. On the spec of incoming. So as it came in, the action is set at 7/64, 5/64. Okay. The action up here is it is very close to 18. And that is 16. Right on. So once I bring this down, I'm pretty sure that's going to come into spec. The middle strings don't seem to be that high. You try to make a chord even at that. It's not up to tension yet, but not gonna kill the strings. So fingers, I should say. Alrighty then. So the first thing I want to do is take some of this down. Alrighty, where's my tools? Oh, here's the tools that they sent me. Now let's just get that out. So this is for the truss rod that goes in there in this adjustment. That seems quite loose. Probably no tension. This looks like a standard. Yeah, okay. Alright, so first things first. Get these down. And I was lucky that J-Man, his channel is J-Man. He took one of these apart, as I mentioned, and he bought a bridge for this thing. There's 2 specs. There's 43.2 millimeters across, which is what this one is, and he lucked out because he didn't know there's also a 54. If I had bought this in a bridge in advance of this coming, I would have gone for the 54 because I think it's a little bit more standard from what I can tell. Alright, let's see if I can get some tension on these strings. Okay, truss rod. Let's check it out. Capo First fret. And let's take a look at what we've got. It's very close to exactly where it should be, even though there feels like there's no tension on the truss rod. So I'm going to go with that to be able to adjust the heights of the strings. I have 4mm taped off. Let's see what that nut looks like now. Yeah, that's better. Just going to check with the 18. Oh, my first fret is up in the air on the end. There's a gap underneath the fret. They're beautifully rounded and smooth though. What everybody says about these guitars online, the edge of frets, you couldn't get a more perfect ending than that. But yeah, this fret is too high. It's lifted out of the fretboard. I'll check the other ones. So I think if I put it down, I'll just give it a tap. It'll be 18. On the other side should be 16. And it is about there. And I think there's maybe, let's try the 18. Yeah, it's probably about 3 thou high. Let me take a close look at the nut. See how it's cut. The strings are deep in the slots, deeper than they really should be, but it's cut nice for the height of the strings. And this looks like a bone. It looks like a bone. A little bit of a sharp edge there. Let me just try this little file. I don't know. I'll have to see once I get it open. It feels quite hard. But yeah, the strings are sitting in the slots. That can be filed off so that they're sitting kind of more a little bit proud. The butterflies. And okay, we're ready to do a sound check. I think the action, oh yes, now that there's tension on the neck. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fret ends on this side are lifted out of the wood. This side's not so or doesn't really have any issue. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I like my guitars to be pretty, pristinely kept clean, and extremely functional. It's plugged in and it makes noise. And on the bridge, that sounds really nice. I'm back on my standard basic 65 Deluxe. No reverb, no overdrive, no anything. And what have I got set over there? Bass is at 1, so it's off. The middle is on 4. The treble is on 4. Volume in there is full 10. And the gain is set at 5. And the 100 watt amp is sitting at 2.5, which is about 25 watts out. Let me see what happens when you take the gain down on this thing. It's probably going to flatten out quite a bit. Let's go to 1. 1, not 2. So, if you don't have an amp without a little bit of gain on it, you're going to get fairly low output. But, got one with a gain that you can set around 4. And about a 20 watt amp or 10 watt amp, you should be okay. So I have to say that out of the box, as a budget guitar per se, it's under $500. It's $400 here in Canada at the moment. If you were to buy this guitar as a beginning person, with what I've done there, which is to adjust the saddle height, basically I haven't touched the buttons. It's holding tune perfectly after I stretch the strings. I haven't had to do anything else to it. I did find that there's a tiny little bit of buzz on the low E string alone up here. Those high frets here don't seem to be bothering it at the moment. And so I will try to tap them down, and I will check make sure that it's level everywhere in the work that I'm going to do on this thing once I get the strings off. But if you were starting, I'd say that out of all of the guitars that I've had, this is the best out of the box, most playable guitar of anything that I've seen and anything that I've had. It's pretty amazing. The other thing I noticed is that on the tone, it's likely a 47 because of the way it sounds. The volume, nice and linear, but they'll work fine. Now this switch is a little bit flimsy, too high in my opinion, dangerous to bend, so you'd have to be a little bit careful of that if you're not going to change it out. And now, I mentioned J-Man before, and he tried to put in the standard Fender style switch, and apparently the cavity's not deep enough to accept it, and it has to be routed out in the bottom a little bit to allow the switch to go a little bit deeper because of the height of the wafer on the standard Fender switch. I will definitely do that. Now, middle. Warms up quite a bit because this pickup is very warm. And if you want to play, you know, jazzy style stuff, this will probably be perfect for you. This is absolutely beautiful. So the EART craze is correct on YouTube. Generally, it is what it is. So wow, I am happy I found an open box because, you know, I'm a frugal, or what I like to call myself, a cheap guy. Uh, I don't like to spend money that I can get away with not, and still get a really good deal. Next step, back to the bench.